How's it, guys? Welcome back to today's episode. So what I'm going to be doing today, I'm going to be going over the description of the video and what's the key levels to look at December, and then obviously economic events that are happening. So let's get straight into it. There's a lot to go through, and it is Friday, a few days before Christmas. So yeah, let's get straight into it. So obviously the title was about Paxful. Okay, so Paxful is a peer-to-peer service, right? So it's basically where people buy and sell crypto on. And what they did, they actually delisted Ethereum from their platform. So the co-founder did this because of a couple reasons. So here are the reasons. So basically, one of them was switching from proof of work to proof of stake. So this basically, he was saying that proof of stake has rendered ETH essentially a digital form of fiat, so they don't want that on their platform. And then they said ETH is not decentralized, it is controlled by a small group of people, and one day you'll need permission to use it. And then at the end, they say that it might have stolen valuable momentum away from Bitcoin and cost years on our mission. So the thing with this, it's very, it's a hard one to put into place because of the fact that there's 11.6 million users that use this platform, and obviously if they can't use Ethereum to obviously buy and sell it, then they're going to look at alternative places. So this was very interesting because of the fact that they're probably going to lose a lot of business because a lot of people use their platform in order for them to convert their currency from fiat to Ethereum or vice versa. So I don't know if this was a good move, but this is very big in terms of the crypto space, and we have to see what happens next. And then next, looking at this, so Sam Bankman-Fried was released on a 250 million bail, and he's actually set to live with his parents. And this is actually one of the highest bails ever set in terms of pretty much everything. And there's a lot of stipulations that he gets. So including staying at his parents' house, wearing a GPS, and he also gets free Wi-Fi, gets to use Wi-Fi. So I wouldn't be surprised if he's on Twitter and doing some tweets on there. But basically, when you get a bail like this, you have to pay 10% upfront, and then obviously ongoing amount. So there was this tweet by this Alexandra Huck saying that Joseph Bankman, which is the father, his net worth is around 5 million, and Barbara Fried, which is 3.8 million, and Sam Bankman-Fried's had around 100k left. So essentially, that's only around about 3.9 million. 9.9 million out of the 25. And what they said, they actually had anonymous two people, so two other individuals with considerable assets, obviously help fund the release of Sand coming out. And there is implications that it was Kevin O'Leary. Obviously, Kevin O'Leary's from Shark Tank US. He's lost a lot of money in FTX, but he's always backed Sam's reasoning behind everything. And he said, I'd rather invest in an entrepreneur who has failed before than who assumes success from day one. So that's quite interesting. And a lot of people, all the comments here are saying that he's obviously one of those individuals that have money in order to make bail for Sam. So obviously this is very big news, and we'll be looking out for this. So there will be a plea on Jan the 3rd in New York. So he gets to have Christmas with his family. So this is very interesting. Keep a lookout for that and see if Kevin O'Leary was actually one of those individuals, because they only had around about 10 million. There was 15 million from a split between two others, and no one knows who they are, but there are implications that it was Kevin O'Leary. So we'll just have to see about that. And then looking over here, before I get into the charting, so that's pretty much all the news that there was within a couple of days. And then looking at these daily on-chain exchange volume, you see there's a lot. Last time it was negative, and a lot more money is coming into exchanges, and USDT is coming out maybe for the festive season, but you can see that a lot more money is coming in, and people are starting to purchase more assets at these prices. So That's looking good. And then this was very interesting. I saw this chart today actually, and the RSI, which shows the relative strength index. Okay, so it shows you know, the momentum and where price has been. Okay, so look, if you're looking at it over here, this is literally the lowest it's ever been in the history of time. So a lot of people, will be buying at that 2019 dip, and this is the 2022, 2023 dip, and you've had 4 opportunities, including now, in order to accumulate. So if this is not a good sign of accumulation, then I don't know what is, because this is the lowest it's ever been in history of Bitcoin. So this was very, very interesting to look at. And then obviously looking at the fear and greed index, we are down at 27. So the fear is getting increasingly worse. And yeah, so that's pretty much all the news. Today I'm going to go over a few charts. There wasn't much news this week, to be honest. It was just these massive headlines, and obviously Paxful is a very big one. So looking at the charting here, so I want to go into Bitcoin quickly because I want to show you what happened yesterday after the news drop. So yesterday there was, we had news at around 3:30 p.m. So we had final GDP, quarter-on-quarter unemployment claims, and final GDP price index, and all of this was bullish for the dollar. So it was all bullish, and obviously this had a massive, it had a massive toll on the price of Bitcoin. So you can see here that when the news came out, Bitcoin actually dropped around about 1.5%. But because Bitcoin was on this crucial support level, it actually got a bounce. So we had this bounce. And normally when you have news that is bearish for crypto, we normally have this massive drop, and then we see ourselves fill that range. So if you're looking on the 4-hour, you can see how we filled this range. So we dropped into this zone, and you can see a massive support zone, and we actually filled this range. So yeah, Bitcoin today looking quite bullish. I'm going to go over this chart, but I also just want to go over what news we have today and what we have to look out for. So we have the core PCE price at 3:30 p.m. today, which is basically the change in price of goods and services purchased by consumers, excluding food and energy. So if the actual is greater than the forecast, then it's bearish for crypto. So we need to be watching out for this. This is obviously very big. I'm going to go over this. And yeah, we need to look out for that today at 3:30. So trading during this time is not advised at all. Yeah. So let's get back into the charting. I've got a lot of charts to go over here, a lot of setups that I think could definitely play out. So definitely stay tuned for these. Sorry, here we go. So on the weekly chart, okay, so this is what I've been speaking about, the weekly chart. We've had, this resistance line playing out over and over again. So we are currently retesting that line again. We're obviously not retesting it, but we come close to it. And last week we had this bearish candle over here, where this wick was at the support line over here, and obviously buyers try to step in, push the price up, and fail to do so. So what I expect now is if we get a bullish candle weekly closure, we might see some longs to take out this wick and maybe start retesting this level on candle closures. So this level over here is a key support level that if price comes up to this zone and closes above, then we can see potential moves to the upside. So in the short term, I'm going to go over the short term for Bitcoin now, but in the short term looking quite bullish, but long term we can still definitely see price come back down to the zone. The thing is, we have to see break of this zone over here, this high. We have to see a break of this high in order for us to be bullish again. So yeah, looking at Bitcoin on the smaller time frame. So if we're on the 4-hour here, so obviously yesterday we had that manipulation candle over here, price came down, and then we actually filled that range. But now you can see that Bitcoin is forming this pattern, okay? And looking at the 1-hour, what I was looking at, we need to break this pattern, okay? So you can see that this zone over here has been acting as significant resistance, right? And at the moment we're getting some type of rejection at the zone. So because there's news coming out at Hoppery, there's definitely going to be a reaction to the charts. So Bitcoin could come back down to this zone, consolidate and come back up. But obviously trading during news is very, very, shouldn't be doing that, only if if you're an insider trader, but I'm pretty sure no one is. But yeah, basically what I expect to happen here, we are looking bullish. We are rejecting off the zone over here. But if we break the zone, we get a candle closure, then I'll be looking for longs back up to, some type of area of resistance and support. So I'll label that out for you right now. It would be around about this zone over here. Yeah, this zone. So that's around about 17,000. We can definitely see that within today, depending on news and what happens. If the news is bearish, then for the dollar, so if it's less than the forecast, then we can expect Bitcoin to make that relief pump to around about 17. So we have to wait for that. Obviously, at the moment, we are currently just sitting on the sidelines. What I'll be wanting for Bitcoin at the moment, we need to see a break of this, this wick, come down, look for potential trades to upside. So that's Bitcoin at the moment. I want to go over the dollar index. So I was looking at this chart this morning, and we were currently, so we're in this range, right, for the dollar. So we're in this little range over here. We're making these continuous, lower lows and lower highs, right? And we actually didn't make a lower high here. We made a higher high, but we're making lower lows. And when looking at that, what do you expect? You expect, price to break this low over here. And if we break this 103.80 zone, we might come back down to the 101. And if that happens, Bitcoin can get a relief rally. And I do expect that could happen. You can't rule it out. All you have to do is look at the charts and see what's happening. And if we break this zone for the dollar, we can come back down to the 101 zone. So that's what I've been looking for the dollar, and you can see at the moment we are currently rejecting off of these levels over here, and that's obviously a level of significant resistance. And if it breaks this resistance, then Bitcoin can come down. So looking at both, it's looking bearish for the dollar, and Bitcoin is looking bullish, but Bitcoin is at this key level at the moment. This level, over here, it's getting rejected multiple times at the zone. So there might be a rejection, consolidation in this triangle, and then come up. That's what I'll be looking for Bitcoin. Yeah, and then looking at Bitcoin dominance quickly. So this is very interesting. The dominance actually fell off a little bit within the course of this morning and yesterday, because if you're looking at the Bitcoin dominance over here, we have been having, this is on the daily, so since the 27th November to now, we've been in this massive bullish movement, okay? And now we're getting stuck at this zone at the top here. So if price comes down to this area, which it might, because we're getting stuck at this resistance zone, if it comes back down to this area, then we might see some relief rally from all the altcoins in terms of, because looking at the dominance, okay, if the altcoins are gaining dominance, then they have more potential to go up, and the percentages will be higher. Whereas if Bitcoin dominance pumps, then all the altcoins start actually losing steam harder, because they're losing a percentage of the share of the crypto market. So looking at this must definitely account for that. And yeah, got a few other coins to go over here. Let me just go over the S&P 500. So S&P 500, been looking at the zone for a couple of days now. We've been rejecting off these levels over here, and then over here we were having this support up this upward trend, and we actually broke down, and now we had a bearish closure on the dailies. So we have to see what happens here, but that was also because we had that news update yesterday from the core GDP and unemployment claims. So that obviously led to a price coming down. We might see some relief rounds, and that's also in the case for the crypto market. Okay, I've got a few coins that I want to go over here. So I've been looking at XRP, right? So XRP has, it's been losing a lot of strength. And when looking at this chart here, you can see that this support zone was hit a couple of days ago, right? And we've been jumping off this support zone, and I was looking at potential longs off this major support, but obviously it bounced off this zone, and now I'm looking at a potential long, more of a swing trade, where I'll hold my position for a couple of days, and looking at a potential trade back up to the 0.3777 zone. And looking at a smaller time frame here, I'll show you my reasoning for that. And the reasoning is that we are breaking these. We're at this key level here. Okay, we're at the support zone. You can see there's a lot of price activity here, and this candle here, if we close above this zone, then I'll be looking for these longs, and I think this would be very, very valid. A good trade to look at. We are breaking the highs. We are breaking the support zone, and it was support, and then it was resistance, and now we're breaking it to the upside. So I do expect maybe a bit of a move to the upside. So this is what I'll be looking at. Looking at like a very small leverage trade and hold for a couple of days, because the percentage here is around about 8%. And stop loss would be around below this previous low, over around there. So this is XRP. I think it could be a potential setup, because you can see whenever we get a bounce off this zone, we tend to come up to this area over here. So we came through, broke this out. If we break this now, we can come back up to this zone. That's what I'm looking at for XRP. But obviously with news today, we need to watch out and see what happens. And then looking at Chainlink. So Chainlink, I was in this position. I showed you guys this position on the last live stream. So what I expect to happen here, you can see, what are we in here? Okay, so I'm just going to move that. So this pattern here, it's called a diamond pattern, right? So a diamond pattern tends to, so this is what it would look like. So we have a kind of diamond pattern over here, and this indicates, a massive leg up. I'm not saying that it's true, but it's just one of those patterns to look out for, and it kind of looks similar to what it's happening over here. So it's a diamond bottom, and normally your price objective would be around about the height of the diamond. So it would be around about this height over here and this level here. So this is what I'm looking at for Link. This trade is still in, it's still active, and the reason why I took this trade is because this level of support was such a big level. You can see over here, I marked this area out. Whenever we come into this zone, we tend to push up. The amount of times that we've done that, the logic says that price would bounce off this zone, and the amount of times we've bounced, you can see again here, and then obviously at the moment. So Link also looking good for longs. If it breaks this mid-range, I'll be looking to accumulate another long at this point over here. So if we break above this zone over here at around 6.22, then I'll be looking for more long positions upwards. And then, yeah, so that's Chainlink. Chainlink looks very good for longs. Cardano. Yeah, Cardano, I was looking at this zone as well here. So let me just move this. So when looking at Cardano, what can we see here? So we had this, looking at, let's go in the 1 hour. So we had this typical bear flag here, okay? You can see as price getting rejected, and then we broke down, rejected off this support line that was getting supported from the bear flag. And what is currently happening now, we actually broke the high, right? So this high over here that was formed in the market was actually broken a couple hours ago this morning. So I would think we could see a bounce back up to this zone for Cardano. That's my prediction for Cardano. We could see a potential long position. Stop losses would be around about 255, and a 3.9% move, because whenever we come into this zone, we find significant support and resistance. So we might get a bounce off this zone. We just need to maybe get a closure above this area over here, where it's finding some type of resistance. A closure above here will confirm that price is going to go up, but this could be a potential swing trade as well with low leverage that I'm looking at. Yeah, and then looking at some other coins. So Ethereum, actually, I haven't looked at Ethereum. So basically, with Ethereum, I was looking at. So obviously, yesterday we had that massive sell-off. Over here, this massive red candle, which took us down around about 2.5%. And the reason why it's dropped so much is because, like I said, the Bitcoin dominance has just been pumping so hard. When Bitcoin dominance pumps, altcoins tend to dump and pump harder, if you get what I'm saying. So if they dump, if they normally used to dump around about 1% when the Bitcoin dominance is quite stable, but now because it's been rallying, they dump a bit harder than what they would have. So Ethereum, looking at levels here, I've got my fibs out. So let me just take this off just to get a clearer view of what's happening. So you can see that we were in this uptrend right here. So we're forming these higher highs and higher lows, right? And then we broke this low over here. We broke this low, broke the support and resistance area. And now we form support at this zone over here. Came multiple times, and now we're starting to form a little bit of a semi-uptrend. We need to watch out for this zone. If we break above this zone, then we can definitely come back up to this level over here. So Ethereum looking good for longs. If we break this level, we need a candle closure above here. Something similar to around about this. A big close above this zone, and then look for longs to this area, which is what I'll be looking at for Ethereum. So I'll look for longs for Ethereum if we get this candle to close. And this would also be quite a long trade, a swing trade. Stops below this previous over here. But it has to, what I'm saying is we have to get a candle closure above this area. In order for us to be valid, we have to get a closure. So you wait for a closure, and then you wait for a retest. So when price comes back down, then it pushes up. And then looking at Matic. So Matic, I was also looking at potential longs for Matic, because when looking at this chart here, you can see what is happening here. So we are at this crucial level here. The amount of times we've come up in this zone and bounced off has been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, currently 7. 7 times we've hit the zone. The probability of us bouncing then rather than breaking is higher because of the past that has happened. We see a price come to this area, and then we get a bounce. And that is what I'm looking at for Matic. You can see that it is currently bouncing, and yeah, that's what I'm looking at. So longs would have been valid over here, take profits up here, but obviously this trade is invalid because the price has already come down. But if we break this certain level here, you can even look at a long there, because that's the recent high. So if it breaks that level over here, you can see Matic, the movement between Matic is incredible. So this movement here is around about 8%, and then up here is 17, 18%. So the movements are way bigger, and hence lower leverage 100% needs to be applied to this. Yeah, and then I think that was all the coins that I have for today. But yeah, I mean, obviously need to watch out for news. Big news today. Core PCE price index definitely going to be a big one. And obviously trading at Hobby Street is not recommended at all. And that's what I'll be looking at today. So Bitcoin, just looking at this zone, getting rejected off this zone. We need a big candle closure above this area in order for us to be bullish. So we need a closure above here, and then we'll look for longs. But potentially at the moment, there's currently nothing happening. So yeah, that's pretty much that. Also going through the USDT dominance chart. This is the last thing I'll be going over. So I said here, okay, so if price breaks this level, cryptos will rally, okay? Because price has been going up, okay? So the USDT price has been going up, the dominance, right? It's been increasing. So that indicates that the crypto market will decrease because it's inversely proportional, right? So whenever this goes up, Bitcoin and Ethereum and all the other altcoins tend to come down. So what I'll be looking at here is this key level over here, this zone. If the USDT dominance breaks this zone in conjunction with our dollar index breaking this zone, then Bitcoin and ETH and all the altcoins can definitely have a rally. So I'll definitely be looking at that. So the USD dominance has to break this area, and that I'll be looking at because you can see it's very high at the moment. We retested this high at the top here. You can see over here, retested, and now we're just currently finding some levels. But yeah, that's pretty much all my predictions, all my outcomes I have for you today. If anyone has any questions or want to go through any charting, just put it in the chat so I can answer any of your questions, or if you have any charts that you want me to go through. Yeah, so I'm looking at a couple trades here. So the ADA trade, the XRP trade, and then Chainlink, my trade's obviously already in. Looking at a mid-range breakout, definitely. Sorry, take that off. Mid-range breakout, back up to the top of the range. Yeah, can we opt to buy XRP now? Yeah, so I mean, I'm in a trade for XRP. It's up to you. I'm currently in a trade, but I would use very low leverage, and I would suggest low leverage because this is going to be a couple days of the trade, and I expect that price can come up to around 8% gain. So I'm using very low leverage over here, and yeah, I am currently in that trade. I think I got it in at around about 3, 4, 8, 9, but not a bad price to get in now. We have the 4-hour closure. If the 4-hour does close above here, it'll be very good, and that's what I'm looking at. Yeah, so XRP can definitely not a bad price to get in at the moment. Just make sure your leverage is very low. I'm using a 3x leverage. But yeah. Any other charts that you guys want me to go over? Any coins that you favor or you have opinions about? No worries. Yeah. Any other charting? I don't mind going over at all. Yeah, so I do think that the bias today is definitely, we are quite bullish. because yesterday, looking at this chart here, if you're looking on the daily chart, I actually have, yeah, this chart shows you. So looking at this chart, so this is the daily chart, right? And Bitcoin, this was the day yesterday, so we had that massive push down because of news. And then look what happened. We actually closed above this range here. We closed above here. So all these stops are cleared. All these stops that were sitting at these levels are gone now. So it looks like we might get a run up in the next couple of days, and that'll be good for before Christmas, obviously. But yeah. Anyone else want to go over anything? But yeah, thanks so much, guys, for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this content, and also please make sure you like and subscribe, because we do this twice a week, every Wednesday and every Friday. And I just come back and just do my take on the markets and all the key economic events that are happening within the current week. So thanks for being here. Have a good Christmas, and see you guys next week, Wednesday.